Today I will share with you how to remember the tools and techniques in PMP for the PMP exam. So if you want, you can just visit to my website. It is talktome.busybody.co.in/PMP guide/home, and you just move to the page ITTO. So here I have a complete list of all the inputs, tools and techniques and outputs of each knowledge area. So if you just go down to that page, you will have a list of all the unique inputs and outputs from each knowledge areas. So I will just give you a tricks then how to do a mind mapping so that you don't really need to remember anything, but if you will just understand the relations between the processes, and by that you can remember the inputs and output of each and every processes. So for example, I will take the first one. This is the accepted deliverables. Also just to be noted here, the list is alphabetically selected. So you will find that A, then B, accordingly, all the inputs and output from each and every processes. And there are around 65 unique processes. So you just need to perform the same exercise. I will just try on the first two in this video. So taking the first one is the accepted deliverables. So just try to think through where from you will get the accepted deliverables. The accepted deliverables you will get from the validate scope, that is in scope management, and that is in a validate scope. You just need to know what does the validate scope does. Then you will definitely come across that should be definitely output of the validate scope, because validate scope is one of the process where customer take that verified deliverables and they accept or reject the deliverables. So that's the validate scope process in the scope management. Now, validate scope, if we just think about the input, what could be the input of the validate scope if the output is accepted deliverables? Then the input definitely will be the verified deliverables, because once your project team verifies it, then you will just hand it over to the customer for their acceptance. So verified deliverables, where from it might come. So if you just move back to the control quality, you will see that control quality will give you the verified deliverables, because in the control quality only you are just verifying the quality of the product or the deliverables you are creating. So input to this will be definitely the deliverables, because that's the deliverables you are verifying. So input will be definitely the deliverables. So now try to think that deliverables where from it might come. So there is only one process which gives you the deliverables. It is direct and managed project work. That is in integrated project management knowledge area. So in that case, where could be your inputs? When you are just directing and managing a project work, your project management plan is your input. Your approved change request is your input. So here, just try to think about that, where from your change request will come. So it will definitely come from not the change request, the approved change request. The approved change request will come from perform integrated change control. So the change control board will just give you the approved or rejected change request. So if it is approved, it will come to your execution process group, and you will finally give you you will just execute that change request, and then finally give you the you will give the deliverables to the control team so that they can verify it. So now moving back to moving forward to the activity attributes, the next one. So you understood, right? I am just going from one process to other process based on one single inputs or outputs. So and also this is not any of the inputs and outputs. Means it is not only the inputs or only the outputs. So one output of a process is definitely made for some purpose. So that will definitely be an input to other process to perform some other activities. So moving forward, the activity attributes, where from it might come. It is definitely an output of defined activities, because in defined activities only you are defining to the lowest level of a work, that is called activities, and you are just noting it down to your document. So activity attributes will give you a matrix kind of structure where you will have all the activities and their IDs and all the details of the work breakdown structures and everything. So activity attributes coming from your defined activities. Now input to it will be the scope baseline, because you are actually you are actually breaking it down to the activity level from your work packages. So work packages means that is the work breakdown structure you created. So now you know that the scope baseline is coming from your create work breakdown structure. Now create work breakdown structure, what you will break in the create work breakdown structure, you will have your scope, entire scope will be broken down in the work breakdown structure. So project scope statement will be your input to the work breakdown structure. Now project scope statement, how you are preparing that one, which is the output of project scope statement. So in define scope process, if you remember, you are actually defining the scope and you are just noting it down the entire scope of your project. So define scope will give you the project scope statement. Now input to define scope will be what? So that you can get a project scope statement. The input of the defined scope will be your requirement document, because from the requirement only you can create your scope, what is in scope, what is out scope, what you are actually going to perform in your project. That will be from your requirement document. So now requirement document, how will get the requirement document? So you need to collect the requirement first, then you will get the requirement document. So collect requirement will be your one of your process, which will give you the requirement document. So input to the collect requirement will be what? Now think about how you can get the how you can collect the requirement. So there are multiple inputs of the collect requirement. So whatever I am saying here in this video is the main inputs and the main output from a particular process. So once you go through all the 65 processes, you will cover everything for all the inputs, tools, and techniques. So collect requirement, we will get it from project charter or the stakeholders. So project charter will have a very high level project definitions or project description. So from there you can get some requirement or the stakeholder register. So stakeholder register, you will get the list of customers or the stakeholder who can actually give you the project details. So that is the two main inputs. So stakeholder register, from where you will get it. So if you try to think about the stakeholder register, you need to identify the stakeholder first, then you can just note it down in the stakeholder register. So identify stakeholder will be definitely your the process that will give you the stakeholder register. So now stakeholder register and the project charter comes from where? The project charter, definitely the very first process in the initiating process group, that is the develop project charter. You will get it from your sponsor as a project manager. Now here the develop project charter, the input to it is what? So when you are coming with for the project charter, you just actually starting the project. Starting a project definitely needs a business need for doing the project or business benefit for doing the project. So your business case or a statement of work will be your input to the your develop project charter. Now identify stakeholder input is a project charter. Identify input will be your project charter, because from the project charter also you will get some key stakeholders where the pre-assigned team members will be there. So by that way, if you just try to relate what I'm just saying, by that way you can just create a mind mapping that from one process to other process, how it is moving forward. And if you come across all the different items I have listed here, you actually covering each and everything in the PMO book ITTO, and you can easily remember. And if any questions come like the inputs and output for a given particular process, then you can easily answer it by knowing where from it is coming. So that is it for today. I hope that this will help you, and thank you.